Yes, you're watching the Southern Muse with Tanya and Cindy.
Yes.
We're on New Earth International. Live every week.
Well, thank you, Rachel, for that introduction. And yes, Cindy and I, the Southern Muses, we are back again this week. And I got to tell you, I'm very excited about tonight's show because Cindy and I have been friends for close to 27 years, and we've been in personal growth industry as, you know, coaches. We're both life coaches and parenting coaches, and, you know, we absolutely, following our soul's passion has been what has kept us friends, right, Cindy? Don't you think? Yeah. And what's so cool is right now, she is working on, she's a salesperson at a place. I'm not going to say who it is in case, you know, just for confidentiality reasons, but however, she's the top salesperson, you know, in the country. Is that right, Cindy? Yep. And even though she's very good at what she does, she's like at the top of her game in that industry. She says, and I'm quoting Cindy right now, a little bit of my soul dies every day when I go clock in, right? So I just wanted to let you know, because Cindy, I'm going to ask Cindy some questions, and what she wants to do and what I want to do is over the next 8 weeks, and we're going to be recording her coaching sessions live. So she is going to show you the process that she and I have worked with several times to help transform our outer reality from the inside out. We felt that would be more powerful than, you know, I mean, yes, definitely what we're sharing about how to create your home as a temple, that's important. However, what we're realizing is that it has to come from within to without. And as we're transforming our homes, Cindy goes, you know what? I'm ready to start doing my life full time, like what I'm passionate about full time. Right? So just in us transforming our bathrooms with this methodology, it's like before we go any further, she says, I want to be doing this full time. So bottom line, we're going to, in 8 weeks, she's going to go from corporate to cottage. That's her brand, from the corporate world into what she's always dreamed of, like a cottage industry business that's not only passionate, purposeful, but profitable. Okay, so that's her focus. So tonight you're going to see me talk her through the first part of, you know, when you kind of know what you want and you're ready to go for it. But of course, you know, emotions start coming up, correct? So we're going to, yes. Okay. Right. Okay. So, Cindy, with that introduction, I want you to tell the listeners, like, tell them about your job and what you love about your job. But I also want you, and talking about your current job, because that's the first thing, everybody. When you're between, or when you're going to go in this transformation, it's very important not to jump off a cliff. Okay, because just saying, you know, the net will catch me. What happens is, unless you are a trapeze artist and you're used to knowing that nets will catch you physically, your body will fight you tooth and nail. If you just quit your job and do it, you will actually sink down money-wise. You'll sink down emotion-wise. You'll go into a depression because your body is going to lock up on you. You're going to go in so much fear that you won't be able to think logically. You'll just be thinking from your iguana brain or your fear base, okay? So what you're going to see Cindy do is talk about it. We're going to see what's coming up here. Then we're going to talk it through her limbic system. Then you're going to notice Cindy come all the way to her frontal lobe in her thinking, all by answering some simple questions, you know, thought-provoking internal questions. Cindy's answer on how to do it is within her. Okay? And what she and I do, we guide people. She guides me, I guide her. So you're just now going to see me guiding her to hear and then develop the courage to follow her own guidance. Okay, so that's what you're going to see tonight. Okay, so Cindy, with that going on, talk about your job and all the things. Just talk. Just let it pour out.
First of all, I have a really good job, and I don't want to dismiss the fact that I have a good job. It's enabled me to build a house on my own. I make pretty good money, and I take care of myself with that. I don't really like the sales part of it so much. It feels to me inauthentic, even though it's not. I know logically it's not, because people need cars. Like, everybody needs a car, well, not everybody, but most people need a car. I spend a lot of time at work, like 55 hours a week at work. Like, I'm lucky to get a day off every week. And I have this beautiful new home I just built that I don't really get to spend a lot of time in.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so tired when I get home that I don't get to, make art and, paint pictures or even finish fixing up my house because I'm so tired. And I want to transition to not only enjoying my beautiful home and get to spend more time here, but to have a business where I make money that more than pays my bills. Not just pays them, but like I have, wealth.
Right. Totally. Now, how many people, I wish I could hear people going, oh yeah, that's me. I totally relate with that. Right. And like I said, Cindy and I have both had this dream and, to do this and I, we help each other. So the questions I'm going to ask her, I want you to hear and I want you to listen to them and ask them for yourself. Okay, like if you can relate to Cindy, ask them for yourself, right? Okay, so Cindy, I'm gonna propose something, and then I want your first thing that comes up, right? So, what have you considered going part-time initially? Like, let's just, okay, so what comes up? Just say what comes up.
I would agree to that. I don't think it's an option for my employer.
Okay, so say why, because I want the fear piece to come up, because what's coming up is here, something it won't even allow you to bring it to your frontal lobe. See, something is shutting you down way back here.
Well, I've been thinking about going part-time, but it's hard for me to even get a day off, so how am I going to transition from no days off to part-time even?
Okay, good. All right, awesome. So that's all I want you to know. So I just wanted everybody, I want you to hear that she's trying to figure it out herself. Like, and we all do that, right? Like right here, and what I want you to know, yeah, I mean, Cindy's taking care of herself. She really has. I mean, she's a very powerful woman. She's number one in sales in the country. So, she's the people that are the most competent, the geniuses, the brilliant artists. It's if we're so used to getting information for other people, we think we're going to get it for ourselves. Well, if the first response is, no, there's no way it's going to happen, it has to be all or nothing, I'm going to tell you right now that's coming from fear. And that's coming from her reticular activation system. Now, secondly, Cindy, I didn't ask you that question. Like, I'm not saying that's what you're to do. I wanted to see your body's physical reaction to that proposal. Okay? And your body's physical reaction was recoil. All right? So your body recoils away from half one thing and half the other. But what do you say why?
Well, I don't think that I will be as effective as I am now if I'm part-time. And I fear that it will slowly get taken my time away to where I'm back full-time. Because it won't be good enough. Like, part-time won't be good enough.
Part-time won't be good enough. Okay, awesome. All right. Now, to also for my listeners, what I want you to know is that when Cindy, and this is part of the coaching process, she had a similar response earlier today. And when I said, okay, broadcast the show out. And she says, oh, I can't do that because some of my friends work here and I'll get fired. Like initially, even though her dream is to help coach people like I'm coaching her and to guide artists, that's what she's so good at, right? And all of this is where her soul is guiding her. Her physical body goes, nope, I can't share and let people know because I will get fired. See, and so that is still stimulated, right? Now, what are you feeling as I say that?
Yeah, because whenever someone gives a notice, they say, just go ahead and pack up your desk and go.
It's
Yeah, so that felt like jumping off the cliff to me.
Right. So let me, and so what I had her do was send me some of her early memories so I could see what gets stimulated. Now, what I'm looking for, and I'm going to pull out her action words out of her words, because this is some of the things Cindy and I do. We can look at your words and tell you what key actions stimulate what fear, what emotions. And fear is what came up initially, right? Oh, I'm going to get fired. No, it won't be enough. That's another thing you heard her say. So basically, by listening to herself, she's going to say, oh, I have this belief that other people either want me a whole bunch or they don't want me at all. And where that comes from is some of her early memories. For example, she went shopping with her grandmother. All right. So, Cindy, what I want you to do is just feel this, because I'm going to read this and release the emotions. I'm going to bring you to your limbic system. So, okay, so now, guys, we know where the fear is. Now I'm going to read her early memories in such a way that's going to bring up the emotions, because we want those emotions to release and get out of the energy field. All right. So all it is, even when she starts trembling, if she starts crying, if she starts bringing the emotion up, don't be afraid for her. Feel with her. All right, that's the process, so that she can get to her frontal lobe and see the truth. Okay? All right, so Cindy, you can close your eyes. And I'm just going to retell this. And if anything I'm saying doesn't sound right, I want you just to correct it. And I want you to know that we're releasing the energy from this so that you don't ever have to feel the feelings of embarrassment and confusion. You don't have to feel sad or worried, and you don't have to feel stupid or like you're getting something more than someone else. All right? Those are the emotions that we're releasing, because that's what gets stimulated, and that's what usually keeps you from taking the next baby step. All right? So you went shopping at Kmart, you're with your grandmother and your sister. And you were just so happy you had all this cool stuff, right? And when you were checking out, the cashier told your grandmother that the check was declined. Your grandmother instantly started yelling. Now, what did that do when you heard her yell? What did it feel like?
It felt scary. It felt sad.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so just there you go, just let it come up. And then you left without any of your things. It was like an all or nothing situation, right?
Right.
You feel it? And this comes about because, like moving forward with your business, you've never done that before. You've never done full-time at the house before and made money, right?
No.
You haven't. And this is being recorded. So know that this is being recorded, Cindy. So you'll be able to sit back and take notes and listen even deeper to it in the replay, okay? But just imagine you're that little girl, and right now your body is trying to throw memories at you. Just say, hey, Cindy, if you do this, someone higher up is going to decline it.
Right.
And it makes no sense, right? No, right. Okay. So look, notice guys, I don't want her to leave this space. It's in fact her running away from feeling that emotion that's keeping her stuck.
I'm gonna
So
have to take a
actually,
commercial break, Tanya. Commercial break. We'll be
okay. Okay, great. Be right back. Hold it there, Cindy. You're doing great.
We're right back with the Southern Muse right after this break. Well, we're back with the Southern Muse, Cindy and Tanya. Sorry for the interruption. We had a little something we had to take care of, but you're back live with the Southern Muses.
Beautiful. And it is perfect because everything is energy. So one thing I want everyone to know, when embarrassment energy comes up, you may find yourself wanting to cloister up, and that's okay. Like, you need to let yourself do it. And I'm really proud, Cindy. Cindy's done awesome staying vulnerable and live at one of those embarrassing moments coming up, right? So, Cindy, I want you to talk more about embarrassment and confusion, like how it shows up in your life, because we want to move the energy, right? So I don't want you to be afraid of it anymore. So let's talk about it.
Okay. Embarrassing would be like failure for me. Like, I work from home and then my house gets foreclosed on. I can't write that check to the bank. That's my fear of working from home. Because my grandmother never worked, and so I didn't understand banking and all that. And I was confused, and I am now.
Good, you're doing awesome. Okay, you're fully in your limbic system, okay? And yeah, and I love it, because I want y'all to see this pattern is a neurological pattern that she's in. It's not the truth. She's actually seeing and feeling that as soon as she does this, she's going to actually walk into the store one day, and unbeknownst to her, she's going to try to write a check, or she's going to try to pay for something. And because she doesn't know where money's coming from, because she doesn't understand yet how it could come from a cottage industry, how it could afford like what she loves to do, it does not compute yet in her physical body. So that's how I know Cindy has already done the visualization, has already decided on a soul level that she's going for it, because she has the courage to sit down with me on this show and model it. So everybody out there, know that if you're feeling afraid and you're scared, that's a great sign, because it means it's moving past your reticular activation system. And she's now going to start mixing her heart into it. You can see you're breathing deep. You're doing great. Now, and your body needs to forget or forgive that memory, that emotional connection, that grown-ups can mess up money. And so if she's going to be doing it on her own, she's the grown-up. Right? Okay, so say more about that. Your body started shaking, yes. So what did you see?
That it's all on me. I don't have a net. If I fail, I don't have a net. I don't have a giant nest egg. It's like it's all or nothing.
Right. So I want all the listeners to know, Cindy's never had a net in her life. And at major changing points in her life, like I'm going to read the next one. We're going to keep going because we're in her limbic system, and I want to move these emotions out. She almost went to her frontal lobe, but I want to make sure I clean everything out, or she clears it all out before we go all the way in frontal lobe. All right. So here's another one, Cindy. Close your eyes. Your dad was packing to move out. So this one's about leaving. Even though you're frustrated with the family that you have at that place, you love them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, literally. You've had major, how many years have you worked there?
5 years.
5 years. You have been with these people through lots of things, right? So your dad was packing up to move out. Your parents were divorcing. He picked up the TV, and you asked your mom, why was he taking the TV? Now, you were full on crying because, he was leaving and taking the TV. So it's not just like you're leaving, but like material possessions that you love also left. And you're right. And your authority figure told you to shut up about it. Just shut up. Don't talk about it. Right?
Right.
Right. There you go. And then you don't remember what happens next, because when you shut down and you close off, in order for you to not express your pain, you had to shut down your heart. You feel it? You're doing awesome. Cindy, you're doing awesome. And you knew you got another TV, but it wasn't the same.
Yeah. I don't remember. Yeah, I know I don't remember living without a TV. So I knew we got another one.
But,
and I don't know if it was even about the TV.
Right. But so right now, I'm going to give you some time, and it doesn't matter how long it takes, because this is the part I want you to sit with this emotion for a little bit. And what makes you sad and worried about leaving your current job?
Well, I do have a close relationship with my coworkers. I always joke that it's like Thanksgiving every day at work, because it's like we're just a big family and we fight, and then the next minute we make up. And, it's truly like a family.
And so yeah. And what do you feel like? What do you think about yourself as the one that's leaving them?
Like I'm the bad guy.
Right. Say more about that. Because you are their number one in sales, right?
Right. And a couple of people know that what I'm wanting to do. And I said, I hope that I replace myself with someone better, so that they don't miss me and they don't, want to pull my energy back there. Like I want them to be okay with me leaving.
Right. And they're not.
They're not?
No, I mean, they're not gonna be. So what are you gonna do?
Not go back.
No, the thing is,
keep doing what I want to do.
Okay, so I was talking about it from an emotional standpoint.
Okay.
Like when your dad left, he knew you didn't want him to go.
Right.
Right.
So you left anyway.
Right. There. I want you to feel that. And this one will take about a day before you're going to totally feel out of this emotion, because it's a deep one.
Right, because I'm relating it to when I got divorced and lost all my stuff.
Right. Oh, you're doing great. Right. And that's a file that you've got in your head, right?
And he knew I didn't want a divorce, and he did it anyway.
Right. Right. Exactly. Right? Keep feeling that. Because it's
like what I want doesn't matter.
Right.
So if that's the truth, then how the hell am I gonna get what I want if what I want doesn't matter?
Exactly. Oh my gosh, you're doing so. See, you're now in limbic and part of frontal. You see, you can hear that you feel like it doesn't matter what you want. And the sadness and the worriedness of what it felt like when your dad left the house and when your husband just left, like out of nowhere, right? Right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Out of the blue.
out of the blue. And you've kind of been in shock ever since.
Yeah.
You feel that?
Yeah.
Awesome. So you're kind of, you see, you're in, whenever you're going to go for such a life-changing event. That's why I'm wearing orange tonight, so that it's your creativity and sexuality center. And any kind of memories from past relationships that's failed, because when you're talking about putting your passion out there, you're not working for somebody else. It's not somebody else's passion. It's your baby. So what Cindy is facing is right now, in order to move forward, there's two men she's working on forgiving the emotional connection to. One is a father. And it may not make any logical sense because right now her and her father have a great relationship. Has a great relationship. So this is no reflection on their current relationship. This is a reflection on what's going on in her neurological processes about when she's about to make a big change. Okay? She starts imploding and feeling the guilt and the sadness and the worry because she doesn't want to leave people hanging like she was left hanging.
Right.
Okay? And so she has to, in order to leave and have a clean leave and to be able to not punish herself for leaving, because that's what she would do. If she left without clearing and forgiving her father and the husband that left, then she would punish herself for leaving subconsciously. Do you see that?
By sabotaging my business.
You would sabotage your business and you would have to be where you'd have to go back. See, that's why part-time wouldn't work.
Right.
Because you'd be feeling so worried and sad that you even put people in that position. That's all your eyes would see. That's all your ears would hear, is how disappointed they are, right? And how hurt they are. And then you would bring your frequency down to where you couldn't even enjoy doing your art.
Right.
Right? Okay.
Right. I totally get that, yeah.
Perfect. Now notice how she moved through that deep sadness, everybody. Emotions don't last when you really authentically feel them. You can't. When you go back and listen, everyone that listens to this Zoom, Cindy, you too, it's part of your homework. I want you to notice how long did that deep sadness actually last. It wasn't even 30 or 45 seconds.
Right, because I don't feel like that anymore.
Right, it moved through. So you can see the old neurological pattern, right? But see, she had to go from fear to checking out what memories were coming up and going back. She's not going back to those emotions. I don't want you to think I'm stirring up something old. These are prevalent. They're right there in her face right now. So,
right.
Yeah, they're not. She was worried and nervous. She's been like that for the last couple days because her fibromyalgia is acting up, because her nerve endings are raw. So this isn't like I'm dredging anything up. I'm actually saying, okay, let's find the source. Let's heal and let's forgive those two men. And when you do, then you will reclaim your power. Your energy field will get strong. Okay? You will remain on your throne. I want to show the listeners what I'm talking about the throne through my little frog guy here. I'm trying to hold him up. You see how he's aligned with this and he's sitting there all peaceful? That frog is sitting on his throne and aligning with higher self so that fear doesn't have you jump off your throne. It's your ability to stay focused on your dream that'll bring your dream quicker. So she's going to be releasing from her energy field She's releasing from her energy field. I need to put like a little aura thing so I could show where fear comes out, right? But basically, the more the every little baby step she takes, she's been taking steps every week. She's now to the point where it's actually, she can start seeing it's possible within 8 weeks to, do this full time. And so this is the part where you want the support, right? Okay, Cindy, we have one more because this one's huge. This one is why you don't receive tons and tons and tons of money. All right?
I can't remember which one I wrote.
I know. That's what's so beautiful about this process. As we're doing it through, okay, but this one you'll see what I mean, and all the listeners. So this one, I want you to close your eyes, and this is you. I'm going to tell you what it is first so you can listen to it in the story. But this is the one about, well, I am so talented, I feel guilty because I'm not perfect. Okay, that's the bottom line, right? So my third grade teacher asked me to read a story out loud to the class. I couldn't pronounce meringue, so I skipped over it instead of asking the teacher how to say it. The other kids didn't know that I had trouble with the word, but I was upset that I didn't read the story perfectly. Okay, so how you felt. So right now, as I said it, how did you feel, Cindy, when that happened?
Stupid.
You felt stupid and you felt like you tricked people.
Yes.
Right.
Because they didn't know what mistakes I made, so I tricked them.
Right. Now, just some background for y'all. Cindy was always a straight A student, and if she got a B or a C, she got a spanking. Is that right?
Punished for the whole summer.
Punished for the whole summer if she didn't have straight A's. So, how many people can relate that are listeners that that's the kind of intervention, let's say public school intervention we had when we were growing up? I was private school, but still, I would dare not bring a C home, because that was my butt. And so her root chakra and her creativity center, she had so much fear because it wasn't perfect. It wasn't an A. Okay? She knew she skipped over it, and she just thought, well, I'm stupid because I didn't know what that word was, number one. And number two, I'm getting credit for doing a good job, and I didn't do a good job. So even though Cindy is number one, I've said that several times in the country, every month she starts fresh and scared every month that she's going to make her quota.
Yep.
Okay? It's like it's Groundhog Day. Yeah, go on.
Until recently, I thought I was going to get fired every single month.
Yes, for 5 years. Because
probably 3 years. I thought they were going to fire me every month.
Right, because why?
Because at the first day of the month, I'm back to zero again.
So she looks at the number and she totally forgets, right? Her reticular activation system kicks in. She sees a zero and she totally forgets she's been number one for how many consecutive months, as if she's going to forget overnight. But you got to understand, y'all have heard her early memories, right? Her memories continually say, all of a sudden, out of the blue, something's going to happen. Something bad's going to happen, and she should have been prepared. She should have known. And so that kind of pressure, she won't be able to do what she wants to do with that kind of pressure. Okay, so say more. Like, I want you to really realize emotionally in your limbic system the type of internal pressure you put yourself under.
Oh, yeah, I do. And even though I have confidence in my real job, I still feel like, yeah, I don't know, it's hard to, almost like it's unreal. Like, I don't really fully believe it, how well I do. And I feel like a fraud. And, yeah, and then next Wednesday, I'll be back to zero.
Having to start all over again. Well, I want you to know, empaths, mystics, psychics, we have extra sensory perception. So the reason we're usually so good and so talented, and we think everyone is because we can sense energy. And at our core, we love helping people. So we like hooking people up with the stuff that helps them. And cars help people, right?
Yeah.
I know, right? And, you know, being able to connect with people instantly is what an empath does. That's what we're good at, right? We're mystical. We're muses. We help the creative be more creative. We help sales be more sales. We're the more magnification people. Cindy, you're a more magnification person.
Right.
But when it comes to doing more for you,
Yes. Yes. Can I do that for me? Can I be that amazing for me? I don't know.
right? So think it through. Like, just think it through. Like, I want you to just ask that question. Excellent question you just asked. Can you treat yourself like you treat your best customer?
I don't know. I don't know what it looks like.
I'm one of your best customers. Could you love yourself like you love me?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. It'll be new.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how many times have you forgiven my mistakes?
You don't make mistakes. What are you talking about?
Oh, Lord, the pressure. Please, I have to make mistakes every day. No, see?
I forgive them and I move on. I'm not hard on you like I am myself.
That's right. That's exactly right. And I know there's, like, everyone here can relate to what she's feeling right now. So you see the emotional gasoline that she has in order to focus, like all of her focus, her energetic focus on her new life, the emotion that she would get automatically stimulated subconsciously every time she's getting closer to this cottage industry of her, you know, building her Etsy store. Her book cover came in. Her novel is getting close to being published. All of these things. So what'll happen, yeah, see, there's the cover to her novel, River City, is getting closer, okay? What'll happen is this big gunk of energy, which is embarrassment, confusion, sad and worried, stupid and guilty. Let me just say them again. Embarrassed and confused, sad and worried, stupid and guilty. That bundle of energy is coming up, and it just, everyone knows what would happen if she took action with that subconscious energy controlling it. She would crash and burn. Crash and burn. So now, moving those through, now they won't trigger. See, we had an authentic conversation. She saw how they came just from memories. And look, no two people will remember the same incident the same way. We all collect evidence and store stuff to remind us of things. That's why two people see the same thing and two different outcomes, two different perceptions. But see, it's not going to trick Cindy this time. she's going to say, oh, that's that old memory coming up. I just need to slow down and go do something loving for myself. See, that's going to be her homework this whole week. This homework this week is not to go do all kinds of stuff on her business. It's actually before she begins her business, she needs to stop, and every time she feels stupid, guilty, worried, sad, she's to sit down and journal. The other thing is, I'm going to be working with her this week. She's going to forgive her dad and the husband that left her suddenly. Okay? She's going to forgive them. Now, not forget what happened, but forgive the emotional connection to where she can be at peace. She doesn't have to love it. She doesn't have to even see the bigger, higher perspective. However, it doesn't need to distract her. She's going to forgive it so it doesn't distract, not forgive it in order to be holier than thou. We're not doing that, right, Cindy? You get what I'm saying? I just want you to forgive it to the point where it doesn't come back and haunt you. If you're feeling sad and worried, you're remembering your dad and your husband. If you're feeling embarrassed and confused, you remember someone else didn't handle their money right and you think that's going to be you. And then if you feel stupid or guilty, that's because that's something that's a God-given talent, God-given. It's easy for you. Isn't easy for the average person. So that's the gift you're here to share. Okay? It's the one that is so easy. In fact, yay. If you feel a little guilty because it's that easy, I feel very guilty that I'm receiving money doing this because I friggin' love it. It's easy for me, right? You are doing the same thing right now. So that, now when we talk on the next radio show, we're going to be beyond the fear piece, because this week you're going to work on self-love. That's the homework. Now, what I want you to do, Cindy, so that you can pull it all together, because I've said a lot, and you will be able to listen to this again. I want you to put it in your own words, like what you heard and what you've learned, and how are you going to love yourself? Like, I want to hear it all from you now.
Okay. When I start to feel embarrassed and confused, it's an old memory. When I'm sad and worried, it's about the men. And when I'm feeling stupid and guilty, it's about my God-given talent. It's about forgiving, and if I find myself having those emotions, to journal about them and to not work on the business aspect of it just yet. Not sure if I'm not supposed to work on my book, but
yeah, no. See, now what? Well, this is how I did it. Okay, if I was totally like able to do it without worrying, and you'll know it, because what's going to start happening, everybody, and Cindy, be expecting it, because it's going to start happening. You're going to start going into your natural creative state, where you're going to say, oh, I just want to change this. And the next thing you know, you will have done something, and you wake up and kind of go, oh, I just spent 2 hours working on my book, and I feel energized. I feel great. I feel new, right? And so I don't want you to work on it to run away from feelings. Okay? And the Divine Throne Meditation. And for everyone listening, if you want your own copy of the Divine Throne Meditation, you need to go to thesouthernmuse.com, click the I Am Feeling Good 8-Day Challenge, and that will bring you to our course room. And I have a free course in there. And within that course, there's a lot of meditations and downloads and guides for you to use in your own life. But that's the meditation, Cindy, because what you're going to do, just like you're going to stay aligned and on your throne. And if you're feeling anything else other than totally connected and certain, then you know you're off your throne. Okay? So, because sometimes, especially the first couple days after, you may catch yourself after you're in it for like 15 minutes. You might go, oh, I'm worried. Why am I worrying? Okay, stop, meditate. It only takes 17 minutes. The meditation is only 17 minutes long. And I actually one day did it 5 times. But I promise you, you keep realigning on the throne, and all the illusion your Red Sea will part. That's what it feels like. Okay? You can kind of feel it, huh? Yeah, you'll feel that peace. So yes, if you're feeling peaceful, you can work on anything you want. I just want your awareness on to make sure you're not doing it to run away from a feeling. Like, I got to do this or I'm not going to be able to pay my bills. Don't take any action from that desperate energy. Okay?
Okay.
Oh, you're doing awesome. Okay, so I love you so much. You're doing, oh man. You're going to rock this. You're rocking it now. Okay, so tell me this. Is there any other questions you have, or is there anything that still you feel you need to clear out for this session?
No, I think that was the big one.
I do too. I do
I
too.
think that was it.
I do too. I think that's going to totally, and everyone else, one more thing I want you to know, this is what's called lifting the veils of perception. It's ancient technique, and with the new science and the new neurological stuff we know, right? We're also starting to see that the lifting of the veils is not only, and forgiveness is not only a divine concept, it's also a neurological process that can be duplicated. And you're going to see like astounding progress with Cindy, because she knows she has to align her body up with everything else. She's not afraid to feel her emotions. She's doing it live, right? Maybe uncomfortable, but she's no longer afraid to do it. That's the key part. So I love y'all so much. Thanks for listening. Cindy, do you have any closing words for tonight?
Nope.
Nope, just go forth and multiply who you are, because who you are is divine. Much love, everybody.